a lot of bad shit happened in the Holocaust. And I don't think the Jewish people in general deserved that kind of torture. But at the same time, the act of getting people out of your country, if you don't think they should be there as a leader, I agree with.
Crazy. The assumption that she makes here is that being Jewish in Germany made the victims of Holocaust foreign. This belief is fundamentally accepting Nazism, which is true. A lot of the people who were victims of the Holocaust were actually like citizens. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine, and today we're going to be talking about Amouranth. I had a surgery last week, so I wasn't even online, but all I could see on Twitter was people going off about Amouranth, and I joined in too because I had some things to say, but we're going to be talking about everything, including the robbery that happened that involved her as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment for more videos like this, and let's get into it. This all started when the user and a panda posted this clip of Amouranth watching Osmongold. Now, last thing I remember from Amouranth was she was licking on mannequin ears and shit. So like, I don't know when she made the switch into making political commentary. And like, listen, no shame, no hate. Like, if you want to turn that into your niche, sure. But like, I always thought she was like an ASMR sex worker, digital sex worker. I don't know. That's always my perception of her work. But no, she has graduated to making political commentary, and that political commentary of Osmongold. And if y'all don't know who Osmongold is, he is the one that said that Palestinians deserve to get genocided, and he is the person that got banned from Twitch for a couple of weeks because of what he said. So he's basically a fucking Neanderthal. He looks like a Neanderthal. He lives like a Neanderthal. And Amouranth going from her licking on mannequin ears to doing political commentary and listening to Osmongold is a lot. You know what? We're just gonna watch this clip.
And you could 9 times out of 10 figure out exactly why they're saying what they're saying.
Give the crazies all of California. It's already the land of fruits and nuts. Yeah, we can give them California. I'm fine with that. They can live in LA. That's fine.
It has been 1 month since Southern California exploded in a fierce fire tore through the Palisades and beyond. Just a few hours later, on the other side of LA County, another deadly fire breaks out, the Eaton Fire. It raced across Altadena and Pasadena. The two fires charred more than 37,000 acres.
They can all live. That's
over
like a lovely community.
Structures and cost 29 people their lives.
Too bad it didn't cause the right people their lives.
She implies that LGBTQ plus queer activists should go live in LA in the parts where there's an active fire. So this is particularly, this flabbergasted a lot of people, and this is because a couple years ago, I believe it was about 2 years ago, it came out that Amouranth was being controlled by a man. He was forcing her to work 13, 14-hour days without being able to sit, without being able to take breaks, and a lot of the people who stood up for her and supported her were the LGBTQIA/queer folks. And so for her to kind of come on stream and say something like this, it's like, it's a little bold for someone that allowed so many people who are queer to support her. And it seems like a couple months ago, according to this user and a panda, she started to listen to Osmongold, and we see this happen to a lot of people where they start trying to get into politics and then they start listening to people like Osmongold or Destiny or Ben Shapiro, and they just start falling into the wrong pipeline, right? Into the wrong pipeline, because Osmongold doesn't know anything about politics. Like, every single time I've seen a clip, like, I shit you not, every single time I've seen a clip of Osmongold, doesn't make sense. Either his political analysis is way off, it's racist, or it just does not make sense. Her biggest hits include saying that deportations are like evil people going to hell, trans people should not have access to HRT because it's unnatural, and being a part of the deplatforming campaign. She's obviously going down this alt-right pipeline. And you know, as a person who, I don't know if she still does sex work, but sex work was what made her millions. Like, that's how she became such a popular and prominent streamer. For someone that was a bikini, booby, you know, mannequin ear licking streamer, one of the biggest supporters of sex work are LGBTQI people, because there's a lot of parallels, right? There's not only are there a lot of parallels, but going beyond that, even if there aren't parallels, historically folks in the LGBTQIA community have all always supported sex work. People who don't, support sex work are conservatives. And so for a former sex worker, it's a bit bold. I mean, I don't know if she's still a sex worker. Like, I don't know if she still has an OnlyFans. Like, I don't know. And quite frankly, like, I don't care. But it's a bit bold. And so basically the internet just kind of started like really covering, like everyone started tweeting about this. Multiple people who are very well known started talking about it. I know a lot of people like the Surfs and Caroline Kwan started responding to a lot of her tweets because people were like, what are you saying? So this is the clip that comes out after where she responds.
Yeah. That I wanted. What was it again? What did they say I wanted?
You wanted LGBTQ people to burn in the LA fires.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's crazy because you totally agree with that.
Oh yeah,
that's definitely a position.
My uncle, fuck him, right?
Does everyone have a gay uncle? No, I have a gay brother.
Gay uncle.
I feel like
you have a gay brother?
That powers me up, actually. Yeah.
Gay uncle.
I had a gay uncle, but he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's why I started therapy, and now
Here we are.
And then someone clarified though for me, apparently, is that I wanted the activists to die in a fire, which I also didn't say, but I did say they can have LA's on fire if they really want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it anymore, that's for sure.
Not only does she not apologize, she doesn't clarify herself, and she says, I have a gay uncle, which is literally the equivalent to saying I have a black friend. Like, okay, you have a gay uncle. Doesn't mean shit. Literally does not mean jack shit. And so for those of you who are asking, the girl in the stream, so this girl is named Not So Erudite, and she is also a YouTuber / streamer. She is a very close friend to Destiny, who we've also talked about in several other videos, but Destiny is the person that has had multiple revenge porn allegations and lawsuits and police filings against him. And him and her are very close. So if that doesn't give you any idea on Not So Erudite, which is the other girl in this stream, I don't know what else will. She made another response. Funny enough, you would have thought that this was going to be her last response, but she actually made another response where she claimed that she only met trans activists in that clip, which is the most turf shit ever.
If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
So she responds, I guess I'm not allowed to question the behavior of, quote, activists who threaten to incite violence against their own community without being accused of hating the group affiliation they happen to belong to. But then again, I also don't assume the actions of a specific few are indicative of the whole. But thanks for making me trend. For her to clip someone that either trans presenting or queer presenting and specifically saying, oh, my response was towards activists like this one who say they want to incite violence, which is not what they said. They did not say that they wanted to incite violence. I think that they're being very clear that, hey, if you're going to make this an unsafe space for us, we're going to make it an unsafe space for you, which is, first of all, this is freedom of speech. You are allowed to go to a town hall or a city hall meeting and express your concern. You are fully allowed to do that, whether you like their response or not. This is someone practicing their freedom of speech, right? Number two, if this person wanted to incite violence, they would say, I'm going to throw a firecracker into every one of your houses. But it's like, they just said, hey, if you're going to make it violent for us, we're going to make it violent for you. And in my opinion, if I'm a trans person and someone comes and incites violence onto me inciting violence back onto them is a form of self-defense. So if anything, you can even argue that this was really just saying that, okay, we're going to defend ourselves if you are violent towards us, which is 100% a valid point. That is literally self-defense. But I guess not. A lot of people started responding to Amouranth. My favorite response was Caroline Kwan, because I think she gave a lot of grace to Amouranth when responding to her, but she was like, Amouranth, the trans community is under constant attack from the current administration. If you're paying attention to politics, which seeing as you are doing political commentary, I am assuming that you are, then you are well aware that a war has been waged against trans existence. Your response to activists declaring that they will fight against this vicious legislation was to cruelly suggest that they should be burnt in the fires that devastated LA. The casual insinuation of violent death for activists fighting for their right to freedom and dignity is frankly appalling. Please do not continue down this path. This was honestly beautiful. It was beautiful because she was very forgiving, but also very understanding in this response, while also putting Amouranth in her place and saying like, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, you're doing more harm than good. But obviously, and also I love Caroline Caroline, like, that's my girl. But so I may be a little biased, but I think she ate. But then you had people like the serfs. No one defending you more than the LGBTQ plus community when you were being attacked by the right. This is disgusting, which is totally true. The right was 100% attacking Amouranth multiple times as she was a sex worker, or maybe still is. I don't know. Then Mike Figueredo said, fuck you, which fair. When's the horse rescue starting again? So Kaceytron is referring to a claim that she wants to open up a horse sanctuary because she loves horses. And she has been saying this for years, multitudes of years. And no one has seen or heard of this horse sanctuary like at all. So let's watch.
Going somewhere, right? Like some sort of towards like not an end goal, but you're creating something. Is there not like a vision for the whole thing?
Yeah, I have a vision. I want to take my stream and use that to educate people for animals, and I want to like rescue dogs and horses. I want to either have my own sanctuary, or I want to be able to work at an existing sanctuary and like support it with like huge donations and stuff, like fund it and help save more animals. And then I also want to have my own separate like empire of like hundreds of acres, hopefully, and have my own like kind of like a dude ranch, you know, where people can go stay to experience ranch lifestyle, but just like hang out with animals and use that property also to help rescue horses that would get put down at the racetrack or whatever. So
for sure, yeah.
Like therapy horses and stuff, have like my own.
So like a little bit of variety there.
Yeah. A few different types.
So this is what we're talking about. No one has seen this horse sanctuary. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. No one's seen it. So then this starts devolving very publicly, right? And then Amouranth starts... Listen, instead of giving educated responses, Amouranth starts insulting people. You know when you insult a child and then the child just kind of blurts out whatever comes to their mind without a filter? That was Amouranth. So we got a couple tweets here lined up where Kaceytron says, can't wait for her to start the horse rescue. She just needs to save up a few more $1 million before she can do it. Once a grifter, always a grifter. Amouranth responds, okay, when I start a farm, you can be my first cow. I don't know why that response is just like so fucking out of line. So for those of you who don't know Kaceytron is a streamer as well. And you know, I haven't ever seen what Kaceytron looks like, but she's like implying that Kaceytron might be like overweight or something like that. This is what she looks like. And I honestly think that is such a fucked up thing to do. Because it's just like, how do you as a woman that made a career out of sex work, like how are you not a girl's girl, number one, and number two, how do you feel so comfortable going after someone's looks? Like, Amouranth, not everyone spends a bunch of money to make themselves look like you. Like, listen, I am not one to speak anything against plastic surgery. Like, I've done it. If you want to do it, you should too. If you have the money, go for it. You got the money for fillers, Botox, do it, okay? But for a woman that has gotten so much work done very clearly, like Amouranth, going after someone like Kaceytron, implying that she's gonna be her next cow on her rescue farm, like what the fuck is wrong with you, babe? So that happened, which is crazy. And a lot of people obviously responded to this. A lot of people weren't happy. Some people were laughing. I mean, Twitter is a cesspool, so. Then we have another response brought to you by Amouranth. So then Amouranth responds again to Kacey. Mind you, Kacey says nothing about her looks, right? Refers to her as a cow again. I must have accidentally entered the secret cow level in Diablo because all I hear is moo, moo, moo. What is wrong with you? You know what's crazy? Kaceytron could have gone so much lower than Amouranth, but she didn't. But listen, for a girl who would mic up mannequin heads and lick the ears of it for hours on stream, who made her fame through doing shit like that on stream, it's very interesting for you to refer to a woman as a cow multiple times, because it's like you would think that given her sex work, she would be much more understanding, much more of a girl's girl, much more of a body positivity type of girly. No, she's not at all. Like, not at all. And listen, I want to be very clear before I get any hate. Like, I am very much pro sex work, okay? I'm just very flabbergasted that someone that would make their claim to fame and money out of sex work would be such a judgmental person, you know? It's just so weird. Then we have another Twitch partner that kind of jumps in and gives her response, gave pretty much a lengthy response to Amouranth. And she says, listen, her name is Foxy Casey. Listen, I used to respect Amouranth's hustle and admired her as a businesswoman, but considering she's flaunted how much money she makes numerous times, where's the farm/animal shelter that she said she's going to start? Why hasn't she done it yet? Claims to make $2 million a day from OnlyFans alone, but can't do the thing that she claimed was her whole reason for doing her work in the first place. Did she only say this to gain support with no intention of executing it? I've called this out to peers in the past and they've defended her, saying it's more expensive than you realize. Okay, then why is Maya able to run Alvius on a fraction of what Amouranth pulls in? I'm telling you, if Amouranth wanted to, she would, which is a very true statement. You could start a animal sanctuary with the money that Amouranth makes, period. Like, it's, if you rake in $2 million a day, I'm sure you could do fucking anything you put your heart to. I'm all for people doing whatever the hell they want with their money, but lying to people about your intentions to gain financial support is absolutely foul. Then to use that money to buy fancy cars, tacky designer clothes, and fill your mansion with frivolous bullshit. I went to her Kick page to see what she's been up to. Her house looks like a hoarder's house. Now she's pandering to people who don't even see her as human while shitting on the very people who have supported her. There's never going to be an animal shelter. She swindled everyone. Grifter final boss. Then Kaceytron agrees. Multiple people kind of jump in and they agree, and I don't know, it's so sad. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see what Amouranth posts nowadays, because I knew her for being a sex worker, but like, I don't know, does she do commentary now? Okay, anyways, I was just curious. Alright, then Amouranth makes huge posts after people call her grifter, because obviously she's always got something to say. Y'all keep referencing sides and saying the word grift like you're playing a video game, and how on the character select screen it's utterly frictionless to pick a different face. Y'all are the real two-faced fucks. Total brain rot, keep self-reporting. I just call it like I see it. I don't have any... God damn, this is a dissertation. What the oh my god, this is so long. I just call it like I see it. I don't have any agenda or some master plan to appeal to another demographic. I have made so much fucking money that the incremental dollar doesn't make me compromise in the way you might. Babe, how many times is she gonna talk about her fucking money? Okay, we get it. You're rich. You have money. You have so much money. You could fucking buy all the cars and all of the fucking lingerie you want. Like, no one cares. Okay, like, move on. Anyone that thinks that switching to political allegiances is some kind of profitable end of year is just projecting. Maybe endeavor. Holy fuck, what is wrong with me? Maybe for a political streamer, cough grifter, the economics make sense, but for my segment of the market, it's not financially rewarding to speak your mind. Literally, people make jokes about how they watch my stream on mute. You're thinking I'm doing this for money says more about you than it does about me. I'm certainly not against any group or affiliation. To a fault, I have never been able to see beyond what is right in front of me, and what I see was a person threatening violence indiscriminately in a town hall setting to their own community, no less. That's not what happened. Do you think everyone at that town hall deserved to be violently threatened? Bro, that's not what happened. Oh my god, you know what this is giving? This is giving white woman tears. The content that my detractors with your head in the sand or so far up your own asses missed. The following quote from the clip I shared: if you say you're afraid of Trump and that's why, then you better be prepared for trans people to make it a very unsafe place. Isn't this the literal definition of domestic terrorism? This is crazy. Bro, even in wars, there is a just and bellow. What? You don't get to target non-combatants, bystanders, no matter what your cause is, period. Some lines you just don't cross, and I will defend that till my dying breath. Some of you actually believe that you can justify what is said by a wannabe domestic terrorist. Wow. She just called that person a wannabe domestic terrorist. That's crazy work. I ain't reading all of that, trans rights. Then she posted this: if your social movement props up and defends bad people merely because they share your belief, then eventually you end up with a concentrated collection of criminals, deviants, and the mentally ill. While most rational people don't want to paint you with a broad brush, by your own volition, you're all choosing to wear matching war paint. I hate it when people refer to people as mentally ill. Like, I feel like it's so intentionally derogatory. This is some crazy lore. So I was recovering from surgery when I saw this happening on Twitter, and I was like, bro, what is going on right now? So iDubbbz, if there are any McDonald's workers or members of the LGBTQ, both who would like to beat up Amouranth, the stars could be aligning. I think you need to be around 120 to 30 pounds, and we can set this up. Honestly, listen, if it's a consenting boxing match between two parties, I'm not hating on it. I won't fight a biological male, but I'm sure I could find a proxy who I will cover all the expenses and training for who will. First of all, who is talking about biological males here? Like, no one is implying that you're going to be boxing a trans person, okay? Like, she sounds so, you know those people that just feel so, like, emboldened and powerful, and, like, whatever kind of fame they've gotten and money has completely hit their head, and, like, that's all they know, and it's like, stop it. Please stop it. So then, this is where we gotta give a little bit of a talk, okay? Before we get into this next segment of the Amouranth saga. Actually, I don't want to say the Amouranth saga. Before we get into the next segment of speaking about what has happened to Amouranth, I want to make it very clear, as much as I do not agree with Amaranth's shitty political takes or her narcissistic behavior towards how much money she has or how much success she's been able to accumulate through streaming for the multitude of years that she has been streaming, I do not condone violence against anyone. It doesn't matter how much I don't agree with your political opinion, okay? So someone like Amouranth getting robbed, or someone like Anna Kasparian getting robbed, like, obviously that's horrible. It's horrible. Or excuse me, Anna Kasparian was sexually assaulted by a homeless person. Horrible. Do I agree with anything Anna Kasparian says? Usually no. Do I think that should happen to anyone? No. Okay. So after this whole entire thing happened on Twitter, right? It came out that 3 men apparently tried to rob Amouranth. She said, I believe I shot one of them. They wanted crypto is what they were yelling. They pulled me out of bed. This was the home invasion SWAT here. Now I'm safe. So, and she was able to shoot one of them. This was the police at her house. I'm covered in blood, but only some of it is mine. I'll update y'all later, but I'm safe now. Was at gunpoint. They gave me a phone and said log in with my gun, with a gun to my head, and I tweeted because calling would be a death sentence. Well, I think she tweeted because calling would have been a death sentence, right? So maybe she tweeted and she got the help that she needed. I also heard that she allegedly lured the robbers to, like, where she had her gun stash, and that's how she was able to shoot one of them. But well, I mean, I don't know if it sounds fake though, because first of all, I don't want to say that this is fake, because if she's saying this happened to her, this happened, unless some news comes out that it was a lie. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say this is fake. She's making this up, right? But what I will say that this is 100% very possible, because someone could come and hold a gun at your head and tell you to give them your logins for all of your crypto, or they could put a gun to your head and say, send me $100,000 in crypto, and crypto is untraceable. So once you send crypto, you can't trace it. So that's also a very likely possibility as well, where someone put a gun to her head and was like, send me 500,000 in crypto. It could have definitely happened, because I remember one of the only ways that you can send money to Gaza is crypto, but I wouldn't recommend anyone to ever do that, because when you send crypto, it's untraceable, right? So if the government finds out that you're doing it, they can pin you and say, hey, you've been funding Hamas, right? And then how the fuck are you going to get out of that? So, I mean, sending money in crypto is just kind of a death sentence in my opinion. But, you know, just don't deal with crypto. And she says, 3 gunmen. He screams, I got shot after. I'm not supposed to post the scene itself, nor the casings, which are now evidence. They beat me before this video and pistol whipped me. The pummeling felt like it would never end. And I protected my head by putting my arms up like I learned to do in boxing. Blood was streaming down my head, and my hands were beat brown. They brought duct tape and masks, and they were armed with handguns.
Oh, we're in here. It's in here. I'm still coming. Come on. Go. Hurry up.
I can't zoom in, but like I think if you look you can see what happens, because she runs into the room and she's like, it's in here, and then you hear 3 gunshots and then the robbers are running away and then the robber is like, I got shot. So my assumption is that she lured them into the room and was like, oh, the crypto keys are in here, and then grabbed the gun and shot them. Honestly, it is pretty badass. Like, I do think her political takes are ass, but like what she was able to do to protect herself is pretty cool, honestly. And there's a trend. We're gonna be making another video and streaming about this at another time, but there's this trend where a lot of female streamers have been getting attacked relentlessly. So she made another video that was basically like kind of like Nazi shit. Honestly, what has she not done? But let's just listen to this because apparently it was really bad.
A lot of bad shit happened in the Holocaust, and I don't think the Jewish people in general deserved that kind of torture. But at the same time, the act of getting people out of your country, if you don't think they should be there as a leader, I agree with. Like, if they're illegal or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, there was a line, they kind of crossed it, but for a while there, you know, it was the idea when people are like, this is like the Nazis. Like, I mean, sure, the first part, but what do you think? You think that just because we're getting people out of the country means that we're going to torture them? I would say being in the country is the kind of torture. These people don't look happy here. They kind of seem like they're already tortured. A lot of stuff.
Crazy. The assumption that she makes here is that being Jewish in Germany made the victims of Holocaust foreign. This belief is fundamentally accepting Nazism, which is true. A lot of the people who were victims of the Holocaust were actually like citizens. They just happened to be queer or leftist or disabled or Jewish, because the Holocaust did not just impact Jewish people, it impacted an array of people that did not match Hitler's eugenic fantasy. Okay, there is no way around it. She supported the Nazi efforts to remove Jewish people from Germany in this clip. Batshit. Overall, I think Amouranth is going down a very dangerous red pill path that I think all of us are seeing, but none of us can stop, because once people start going down this path, it's pretty crazy. Like, it's a very dark road to go down, but I'm praying and I'm hoping that she is safe, that she's okay, because obviously the robbery is not okay, but also, where is the animal sanctuary, and why are you a transphobe? Going beyond that, okay, in all seriousness, obviously, what happened is terrible. What happened is absolutely terrible. Like, no one deserves that, okay? It doesn't matter. And she was a badass. Like, the way she handled that robbery was truly badass. But at the same time, it's just like she's perpetuating harm against a lot of minorities in this country with the way that she speaks about people and the way that she streams. And I really hope that she recognizes that at some point and starts to make a change. I don't see that happening, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad because I actually, when a lot of the stuff came out about Amouranth, about how her husband was forcing her to work and she was basically like a work slave, I did a lot of content about her, and I streamed a lot about her, and I was very supportive of her, and I felt very bad for what she went through. But it's just like, you're not a girl's girl. You're calling other girls cows. You're constantly talking about how much money you make. Like, babe, no one gives a fuck. And it's just like, I don't know, whatever kind of respect I had for her just kind of went out of the window. I think that's the best way to put it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. My name is Ariana Jasmine. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time.